Welcome to People. I'm Shirley. Today my guest is Joshua Hon, who is one of the founders of Tern Bicycles. And we're right now in Santong and at their offices. Now, this company started in 2011 and they have like 45 distributors in 60 countries. Well, let's meet Joshua. Hi.
Hi.
All right, thank you so much for making this time.
Oh, great to be here.
All right. As you can see back of us, there are all these bicycles here, but we're going to get to them later. I think we all want to get to know Joshua a little bit. So, are you sportive to start off with? I mean, have you always been sportive since you were a child?
Well, I think the key word is was.
Oh. Because when you're into bikes or these kind of outdoor kind of equipments, and
right.
you would naturally think that you must have been active and sportive and all that. Anyway, so was.
Yeah, I say was because I think I'm getting a bit older now, so I think in my youth I like to play a lot of sports. As I get older, it's getting harder. Injuries become more frequent. So that's
you
why
can't
I
be any
was.
older than me.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I think growing up I was a runner. So high school, college even, I was a runner. But that takes its toll on the joints.
Yes.
So cycling is a great low impact activity that I can do now, and I can't run.
But it's still strain on the knees, don't you think? On the joints?
It's a lot better. It's very
Okay.
low impact. You can cycle for. Yesterday, in fact, I went out for a ride with my wife. We went out for 3-4 hours. There's no pain involved. Running, there's a lot of pain involved.
At least you don't fall. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what about your parents? I mean, they're sportive people.
Fairly, yes. I think when people are young, yeah. My father did quite a lot of sports, swimming and basketball and things. So, yeah.
Well, this is a family business. In fact, it's a family business, right?
Well, I wouldn't think of it as my mom is involved in the business.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
But we don't really think of it as a family business. It's the company was founded by a lot of people together. So we have 70 people now in the company, and so we don't view it as something that my kids are going to take over in the future. It's something that a lot of us together decided. Hey, this is a company that stands for something that has a great mission, which is to get more people onto bicycles, out of cars and onto bikes. And so that's how we view the business, not as a family business.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we said we're going to get to know you, Joshua. So your English is so good, but where's your home? I mean, I know you studied abroad.
Well, home is Taiwan now.
Yeah.
But
you were born?
I was born in Los Angeles. Grew up in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Went to school in the Bay Area. And at 25 came to Taiwan. So I've been in Taiwan for 20 years now.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And you decide to come back to Taiwan because?
For work, actually, to get into the bicycle industry.
So how did you get started in bikes to begin with?
Well, I started at the bottom. Which was working on the assembly line.
Really?
In the factory.
When you were young, as a kid, kind of a job on the side?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. This was when you were still in the States?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So working in a warehouse, shipping bikes around, stacking them in the warehouse.
So you got muscular from that then? Yeah, it takes a lot of physical work.
Yeah.
Okay. And then?
Well, I think that's, I kind of got interested in industry at that age. I think, but I was never much of a cyclist because I was always a runner. But I think after graduating, what happened was I worked for a couple of years in marketing communications in the Bay Area.
That was your major?
No, I majored in human biology.
That's very different.
Yeah. Well, human biology is, what I studied was, my area of focus was really human behavior and what causes people to behave in certain ways rationally as well as irrationally, and studying that. And so I think that applies pretty well to marketing.
Okay.
And then I also did a master's in organizational behavior.
Oh.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
Well, it's the kind of the studies of how organizations behave. So again, what makes them work well, what makes them work irrationally, what makes them dysfunctional, and studying those factors that affect organizations.
And the biggest factor is people, because organizational behavior depends on how people are.
Sure.
To make an organization work or not work.
Sure. So structure, how you structure a company will determine, are people motivated or unmotivated. So these are all, for me, things that are very interesting. They don't apply directly to business, but it informs kind of all of my thinking about how we structure a company and how we treat people. And so I think it's been very valuable.
Okay. So when you were working at the assembly line at that bike company, did you already have your own bike then?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
I rode a bike all through college.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to and from school and all that, you were
Sure,
biking?
yes.
So you got to understand about just how comfortable a bike should be for different people.
I got I would say a great understanding, well, from my personal experience of what I like about certain bikes and what I don't like about certain bikes. And so even now I am very involved with the development of products.
Sure.
And so our direction is still, an example is in college I was a gardener.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so for, I don't know.
You had a lot of different interests.
Well, no, this is called making money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that too.
So for $6.50 an hour, I was a gardener at some woman's house, and it was 3 miles off campus. And so every day I'd ride my folding bike to and not every day, but once or twice a week, to and from the job.
You already had a folding bike then?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it had small wheels, and it wasn't very nice to ride. So every time I'd be riding, and it's not a lot of fun riding this. And one day I had a flat tire, so I borrowed my friend's, my roommate's bike, and it was a total beater bike. The rim was wobbly, it was rusty, and I discovered that his terrible beater bike rode better than my folding bike.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, wheel diameter has something to do with it.
The wheel's bigger.
Tire diameter has something to do with it. And so to this day, when we design our products, one of the most important, or the most important thing for our bikes is that it has to ride well.
Sure.
And because if it doesn't ride well, you don't want to ride it. So we don't focus on making the smallest folding bicycle that folds the fastest necessarily. We focus on creating a bike that rides the best.
Okay.
So to this day, it's something that affects it. So we use the best tires and the best hub bearings, things like this.
That is so interesting. Well, I guess we already got into the topic of bikes here.
Oh.
I think generally, at least for me, I'm not a big biker fan, although I do have my own bike. Yes, we generally think that folding bikes don't ride that well. That folding bikes are just for the matter of convenience. To carry around, to put on the MRT, the public transportation. But now you're saying that it was so then, that folding bikes is just really for convenience, just for the but it's not so much for the comfort or speed riding or whatever. But now, as I see more and more folding bikes are in market, I just wondered, well, how can folding bikes be attractive to bikers? But now you're getting to the point where that's what you're working on, is developing more and more comfortable folding bikes So, well, that's interesting. I never thought that you can get away from, well, making them with smaller wheels and so they're easy to fold. But you can work on, the comfort and how to make it better and better as time goes.
Yeah, it depends on how you design the product. When you design, everything is kind of a balance of compromises, right? There's cost, there's weight, there's riding function, there's price. All of these, in a way, work against each other, right? If you want something that's cheap, it's hard to get it also very light, right? So normally to get something light, you need to pay more money. So when we design a product, we're balancing all of these things, and so it's really important for us to be using the products ourselves so that we know, hey, this is the right mix of compromises that we're putting into the product. And it also has to do with the technology that you put in. I think we've got some great, unique technology that allow us to develop a bike that doesn't have the huge compromises in riding. So the goal is to create a bike that rides as well as any standard bike, but also folds for convenience.
Yeah,
And
that's hard.
It's very hard. But we think we've done a pretty good job.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're going to demonstrate later,
Sure.
so I'll get the feel of it, just how great your bikes are. Yeah, that really makes me think about how my daughter used to have a bike. It was a small bike. She was only in her, in elementary school.
Okay.
It was like the heaviest thing.
Right.
I guess I got the cheapest bike for her, probably. But it was so heavy. It was weighing more than my bike, So now I understand what you mean. The cheaper it is not necessarily the lighter it is.
Yes.
So there's always a balance. Now, my question is a heavier bike better than a lighter bike? I mean, which is better? Or it depends on what purposes you're going to use the bike for.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. It really, again, the way a consumer uses a bike varies widely from person to person, from country to country. It could be somebody's using a bike to haul cargo.
Oh.
In which case, you want a little bit more strength.
Sure.
And to get strength, you add a little bit of weight. In general, when you're racing, you want the lightest product possible. And you typically have to pay a lot of money to get the weight down because you're using exotic materials like carbon or titanium or magnesium.
Can I interrupt though? But I know that you need lighter bikes for speed, right? For racing. But they're not as sturdy, aren't they? Because you think that the heavier they are, the more sturdy they are. But the lighter it is, you don't think it's that sturdy. I mean, that's my concept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to an extent. If you get too light with a product, you can have safety issues. But there are plenty of very light bikes that are very strong because they've been tested, extensively by the company designing the product.
Okay.
But there's a term called stupid light. There are products out there that have, they're drilled out and they're stupid light because they're light.
The hollow inside.
To the point of not being safe. So it's really important that you do, or the manufacturer does, proper testing on the product that they sell to people.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, how is it that your company was launched in 2011 and yet you have 49 distributors already in 60 countries?
Well, it's pretty amazing.
Yes.
If you think about it, and even for us looking back, I think it is really the result of an incredibly passionate team of people all working pretty much with a single mission and vision. So it's not about me being really great. It's about 60, 70 people being really great and all being able to work independently and drive forward. So in 2 years, we've developed a pretty great product line, which most people agree is among the best in the category. And we've had great support from the industry, suppliers. Taiwan is the best country in the world when it comes to making quality bicycles. That's a fact. And we're based here, and we know the suppliers, and we got incredible support. As we were developing our products, we had a lot of suppliers just say, yep, tell us what you need, we'll get it done for you. And so we were able to develop the product line very quickly. We also have a lot of friends in the bike industry, and so when we said we're doing a new bike brand, they said, great, let us know, we're interested. And I think with the team of people developing the product, promoting the product, we got traction with the brand very quickly. So,
Why is Taiwan such a great market for manufacturing bikes? Does it have to do with our resources here or the people? Well, people are a resource too, but.
well, it comes down to the factories that are here, the suppliers. In the end, like you said, it's the people. We can really call up any one of 30 or 40 suppliers, and we can say, hey, I need a little help here. Can you help me do this, or can you help me rush something out? And it's a small batch, but I need help. I need some help, and these suppliers will bend over backwards to help. And that's something it's this personal relationship that you tend not to get with maybe some of the big factories in other parts of the world.
Yes, it all has to do with 关系
Yes.
in Taiwan. It's these connections,
Yes.
friendships that you make with people
Yes.
who can eventually would be helpful to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So in Mandarin at least, it's 帮忙一下. And that gets
Help
you
a little.
yeah, that gets you a long ways when you're friends,
Right.
With your suppliers.
Now, you're saying you've got 60, 70 great people working together and, making this brand become a worldwide brand because your company is a cloud-based office, right?
Right.
You actually work online, and that's how you connect these 70 people.
Right.
Does that mean you've got 70 people distributed all around the world
Yes.
in major cities? They're all sent from here to those countries.
2/3 of those people are based in Taiwan. The other third are based overseas. So we have people in the United States, spread in a couple of different cities, and we have people in Europe as well.
Just one person to an office, almost, since it's cloud-based, right?
Sometimes it is.
Okay.
If we have, for example, our head designer is Finnish.
Yeah.
He's great, and he's based in his own private office in Finland. In the United States, we have people in their own individual offices, and we have, in our distribution center, then we have multiple people together. China, the same thing. But it's pretty interesting because all of our, let's say, our project management software, service software, it's all based, as you mentioned, in the cloud. And so we develop a product, we make a drawing here, we go to sleep, and the guy in Europe comes on, they work on the project, they go to sleep, and then the guys in the US take over. So I think being kind of very much a global organization makes us very strong because you get a viewpoint which is international rather than local. How a guy in Finland uses a bicycle is different from how a guy in Taiwan uses a bicycle. And that's different from how a guy in Austin, Texas uses a bicycle. And if you just have that one kind of viewpoint, it makes your product perhaps more one-dimensional.
Where's the first bike invented?
The first,
You got me thinking.
the first bicycle.
Yeah, because your main designer is in Finland. Now,
I think I believe, I'm not sure. I believe
Okay.
that the first bicycle was in England, but
all right.
I'm not sure.
That sounds right.
You'd have to Wikipedia that.
Okay, all right. Well, I understand that your company also does a lot of kind of promoting loving the environment, energy saving, that kind of stuff. So I guess the company also does a lot of charity work. So you want to talk a little bit about that, things that you've been doing, Tern and
Sure.
Taiwan's
Yeah.
environment?
Well, 1% of our profits will go to either environmental or social causes. So we're not profitable yet. So we haven't given too much. But we have done a number of things. I think recently, at every trade show, we'll run kind of a donation campaign. So in Las Vegas, just last month, we raised money for the Alliance for Biking and Walking.
Okay.
So we had some nice stainless steel pint glasses. We had some great New Belgium beer. And if you made a $5 donation to the Alliance for Biking and Walking,
5 NT?
$5.
Oh, US dollars.
US dollars.
Okay.
You would get a great glass of beer. So the Alliance for Biking and Walking is an organization that promotes healthier, more sustainable, more livable cities by advocating for more walking and biking space.
I'm sorry, this alliance is a US-based
Yes.
alliance. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
US. So that, but we do that sort of thing in lots of different. We'll find a good an organization that we believe in, and we will support them with money. So I think we raised, I don't remember, $1,000, $2,000 for them just in a few hours.
Yeah.
So-
All right. So, yeah, I think you just reminded me. Let's talk about urban biking here in Taiwan. Would you say urban biking has become like a trend in the last, I don't know, 10 years? Longer than that? No?
In Taiwan.
Yeah, in Taiwan.
I think I would say less than 10 years.
Less than, huh?
I would
Yeah,
say
okay,
5 or
less, yeah,
6.
not quite. Yeah, it's amazing how it's really grown.
Yeah.
So obviously, this is a great asset for your business. So how are you seeing this trend that's happening here in Taiwan?
Well, I think it's fantastic to see because, I moved to Taiwan 20 years ago. 20 years ago, at 6 o'clock, you had gridlock everywhere. You had terrible air pollution. Nobody bicycled.
Yeah.
Everybody was on a scooter. And it was a traffic nightmare, especially if it rained a little bit, right? And if you look at Taipei today, it's amazing. When you leave the house at 6, you just say, I need 10 more minutes. Maybe traffic is a little heavier. But, everybody's using the MRT.
Yeah.
And if you go out to the bike paths on weekends, you see traffic jams
Oh, yeah.
of cyclists.
Yes.
And that wasn't the case 5-6 years ago. So I think what we've seen is Taipei actually invest money in infrastructure, in mass transportation, and I think we can see the benefits. They're very clear benefits. The air has gotten much better.
Okay. Well, good
I
thing you
think.
noticed that. Yeah, you think, yeah. But you're probably right.
Just even yesterday along the bike path, we see a lot of investment in cycle paths. I think the investment for recreational cycling has been fantastic. I think now we need to see some real investment in Taipei City.
Yeah.
The bike path that was on Dunhua was, let's say, not terribly well conceived.
Yeah, I know because it's right by the car lanes and then the bus lanes
And the taxis use it.
It's not. It wasn't ideal.
But on the other hand, last week I saw a new bike path along Xinyi. Taipei as a city is really not very big,
No.
right? To ride from Heping to Minquan across town would take 10 or 15 minutes if you had a good bike path.
Okay. Well, that's great. Yes, I know. With the convenience of U-bike these days, it really is great. I mean, you see people actually paying renting rather the U-bike and just to cycle around a park.
Yes.
That's what I saw last night,
Yeah.
and I think, because it's so cheap,
Yes.
renting the bike. But they're doing that. You need your own bike, but you get to exercise by biking around, renting
Yeah.
those bikes. So.
Yeah, we saw tons of U-bikes. I think we really have to recognize Giant for really investing in a system and doing a great job with it.
Yes,
it's
I agree.
fantastic. We're also members and users. And
Yeah,
it's
really?
fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. Well, what do you foresee urban biking and Tern in the future? What's in your head now that you're thinking of developing and making Tern better and better, Tern bikes?
Well, there's a lot still to be done to there's been so much technology put into racing bikes. So,
Is that your direction, the direction that you're taking, racing bikes?
no, not at all.
Okay.
So there has been so much development
Oh.
by the industry into racing bikes, making them lighter and faster. But the amount of development for bikes that are designed for urban and city use is relatively small, I would say.
Okay.
And there's so much room to create better technology, newer products, bikes that ride better, bikes that are more comfortable, bikes that are safer.
For different ages,
Yes.
for different sizes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we're working on all of those things. So
Right.
whether it's integrated lighting or carrying more cargo so that you can do a week's worth of grocery shopping by bicycle.
Yeah.
These are all things we're working on.
Okay, well that's great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, what's this? If it weren't for you to show us your bikes and demonstrate just how actually a bike folds and unfolds.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a look.
Yeah, sure. All right.
All right, Josh, you want to kind of introduce us to the first model right here?
Sure. Well, we've got a couple of different types of bikes for different types of consumers. This bike has a very low step frame. You can see this. And so this is designed for the consumer, maybe who's a little bit older, maybe who's wearing a skirt or a dress. But the idea is that no matter what your physical condition, no matter how you're dressed, you should be able to ride a bike for urban usage.
Okay.
And so that's the type of customer this bike is designed for.
All right.
Next we have this bike. It's called the Node. This is a new model for us this year. And this is a full-sized folding bike.
Oh, all right, full size. Because
more-
that means the wheels
Are
the normal size bike wheels, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Typically when people say folding bicycle, you think of very small wheels.
Yeah, I like that one.
Rickety riding performance, not like this one.
Okay.
Something that doesn't ride well and is very compromised in terms of riding. This bike is not any of these. It rides exactly like a full-sized bicycle, but it also folds for convenience.
What kind of people would like to buy this kind of bike?
Anybody who's riding around in the city, doing errands, getting to work,
Really?
getting things done. You can see that it has weather protection. It can accept racks front and rear.
Oh, yeah.
It has a dynamo hub with integrated lighting. There are so many features on this that are really designed for daily use in the city.
All right. Is there a bell? But you can have a bell, right?
It comes with a bell.
Oh, it comes with a bell.
It's not on the center.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
What about this next one?
Well, this next one is one of my favorites. I happen to think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
These are real cork grips.
That's what I thought. It looked
Yeah.
like cork.
Yes,
Oh.
it's real cork.
What's the benefit of a cork material handle?
Well, this cork, I believe it's 40% of the by weight is from a renewable resource.
Ah.
So it's harvested. I think it's either Portugal or Spain. Renewable. It also looks pretty good.
Yeah?
And it also has a bit of a cushioning effect, which is
Oh,
nice.
okay. Does it absorb sweat?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, just asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One of the interesting features on this bike is that it has a dynamo hub. So you can see this is our dynamo hub, which is the smallest, lightest dynamo hub on the market. And what it does is it has integrated with magnets. And so when you spin the wheel, it generates electricity.
Oh, cool.
So if you take a look at this integrated light here,
Yep.
when I turn the wheel,
Oh, there you go.
the light turns on. And so that means that you don't need a battery-powered light. You're
Yeah.
throwing out batteries every week. It means when you ride, you automatically have lighting and you're safe riding at night.
That's great.
Yep.
All right. And this next one,
This is
smart looking.
This is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
This is the bike I'm riding right now.
Oh, and this color?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is an extremely light extremely fast bike that folds.
All right.
Again, this is hitting the stereotype of, oh, folding bikes, small wheels, don't ride well, they're rickety, and this bike breaks all of those stereotypes. It's light, it's extremely fast, but it folds in 10 seconds so that you can throw it into your car or take it on the MRT.
Okay, so you're going to demonstrate 10 seconds folding this bike right here, right?
Sure.
10 seconds, I'm going to time you. Anyway.
So this is another bike, it's called the Verge X10, and it basically folds in 3 easy steps.
Really?
So, yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3. So
That's it.
Yeah.
And you'll carry it
You
by way
just-
of, oh, you lock it.
you strap it here.
Oh, strap it,
and-
okay.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so that goes easily into the car, onto the subway. We have various bags to let you carry it, but it's a very nice package. And you know, when you riding it, it's extremely fast, it's extremely light, but it's so convenient.
All right.
Yeah,
Now you want to demonstrate unfolding it?
sure. So you just reverse the steps. And it's actually,
That was even faster.
yeah, a little bit less than 10 seconds.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so very much, Josh.
Thanks, Shirley.
This has been really fun.
Yes.
And good luck with this business. I mean, these are great. They're smart-looking bikes. They're really, they're great.
Thank you very much. We work hard.
All right, great.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching, people. I'm Shirley Lin.